Good morning students. Today we have a video demonstration on development of heart. Now whatsoever in the video you can see is the development of the interatrial septum and the interventricular septum in these three models. Before that we study these three models in detail. I would like to begin with the development of heart from heart tube. Now in the theory class you might have studied that heart tube has basically four parts. From lower to upwards we have sinus venosus, then we have primitive atrium, then we have primitive ventricle and bulbus cordis. Now all these parts will loop around and they will finally take the shape in this way, and they will give rise to various parts of the heart. Now for example, the primitive atrium will give rise to trabeculated part of both the atria, and we have right horn of sinus venosus which will give rise to the smooth part of right atrium. So basically the right atrium is formed from primitive atrium as well as right horn of sinus venosus. Then we have a smooth part of left atrium which is basically formed by absorption of these pulmonary veins. So the smooth part of the left atrium will be formed by the absorption of pulmonary veins, and smooth part of the ventricles. The smooth part of the ventricles, which includes the infundibulum of the right ventricle and aortic vestibule of the left ventricle, is formed by basically conus cordis. Now the conus cordis is a part of distal part of the bulbus cordis. So basically conus cordis is smooth part of both the ventricles and smooth part of both the ventricles, and which includes the infundibulum of the right ventricle and aortic vestibule of the left ventricle. Now the bulbus cordis will give rise to the trabeculated, means the roughened part of the right ventricle, whereas the trabeculated part of the left ventricle will develop from primitive ventricle. So these are the parts of the heart tube which will give rise to the various parts of the heart. Now looking at this three models, what do we see here? Over here, see this heart which is being developed within the pericardium. It has four chambers which we can see. This one is representing our right atrium, then this one is the left atrium, this one is the right ventricle, this one is the left ventricle. Over here you can see this one is the developing interventricular septum. This is basically muscular part of interventricular septum. As you can see in the second part, in the second model, it has become more thickened, and in the third part it is more and more thickened muscular part of the interventricular septum, dividing the ventricles into right and left ventricles. Now coming to the upper part, which is the formation of the interatrial septum. Now this is how interatrial septum is being formed. Okay, coming to this part, if we see on the right wall of the atrium, means in the right atrium, we can see this septum. This one is septum spurium. This is septum spurium. Now this septum spurium is containing two leaflets, this one and this one. This is right venous valve, this is left venous valve, and this is guarding this orifice which is called as sinoatrial orifice. तो ये है right venous valve, ये है left venous valve, and this is guarding the orifice which is sinoatrial orifice, and this one is your septum spurium. Okay, I think I'm clear from this point. Then the second thing which you can see, this pink colored, is the septum primum, which is a downward, which is growing downwards towards the endocardial cushions. These endocardial cushions have started to develop at this part. This endocardial cushions will play an important role because they will help in separating the atrial cavity from the ventricular cavity. So it means they are forming the atrioventricular canal future. So this one, septum spurium, right venous valve, left venous valve. Within the cavity lies the sinoatrial orifice, and then we have septum primum. On the left on the left atrium, you can see in the smooth part, this is the opening of the pulmonary vein. Basically the pulmonary vein is being absorbed in the left atrium, giving rise to the smooth part of the left atrium. So this is what we see in the first model. Moving on to the second model, again the septum spurium, sinoatrial orifice, right and left venous valves. Now what happened is, we can see this endocardial cushions are growing more and more, and they will form the atrioventricular canals. Now as they are formed, what will happen is the septum primum will grow downwards and try to reach the try to fuse with the endocardial cushion, and they have fused also. But what happens on the roof, on this part, we see that a few cells get degenerated. These few cells have degenerated from the roof, and they will form a this space from where the blood from the right atrium can sweep to the left atrium. So the passage is always kept over here. So this is called as foramen secundum. Okay, this one is foramen secundum. How it is, you can see how it is formed, so that the blood flow from right to left atrium is kept intact. Now moving to the third model, which you can see. This one is a third model. Again the same structures: septum spurium, right venous valve, left venous valve, sinoatrial orifice. Now this one was the septum primum, which has almost fused. Over here the purple growth which you can see, this purple growth. Now this one which is being formed from the roof is the septum secundum. This one is the septum secundum, which is growing downwards to reach the cranial end of this सेप्टम प्राइमम. ठीक है, ये क्रेनियल एंड के सेप्टम प्राइमम तक एक्सटेंड करेगा. ठीक है. नाउ द ब्लड विल स्वीप फ्रॉम राइट साइड टू द लेफ्ट साइड, एंड दिस सेप्टम सिकंडम विल एक्ट एज अ फ्लैप. ठीक है, ये फ्लैप मैकेनिज्म से फ्लैप और वॉल्व. So blood from the right atrium to the left atrium is flowing this way, and this foramen which is formed, this gap which is left, is called as foramen ovale, and this foramen ovale will persist till fetal life. This will persist till fetal life. This is called as foramen ovale. Now after the child or newborn is born, after within the 3 months this gap is fused. Okay, and then we are left in the adult life with the structure called as fossa ovalis, which we see basically in the right atrium. So this one is that foramen ovale which persists in adults as fossa ovalis. In case if it fails to fuse, then it leads to a condition in which is considered under the atrial septal defects, where the foramen ovale is patent, and it is also called as Probst patency. So this is all about with the development of interatrial septum. I hope I am clear how the interatrial septum is formed, how endocardial cushions are formed from there is a cardiac jelly which helps in forming of these two endocardial cushions, and they will fuse with each other. Apart from that, there are few endothelial cells which will invade, and they will form these endocardial cushions. Okay students, moving backwards, if we see, now this is basically the right atrium. Now what we see is this one is the sinus venosus. This one is the left horn of sinus venosus, and this one is the right horn, and this blue line is representing your attachment of mesocardium. So in the right horn of the sinus venosus, we can see how superior vena cava is formed, and within the left horn of the sinus venosus is the formation of coronary sinus. So this is basically the absorption of sinus venosus, which is the right horn. This one is the left horn of sinus venosus. Okay, here we can see the opening of the right atrial cavity, and here we can see the opening of the pulmonary vein. So this is all about the sinus venosus, which is right horn forming the superior vena cava, left horn which is forming the coronary sinus. Okay, now let's focus on the developing ventricle. Now whatsoever you can see is the formation of interventricular septum. Before that, let us go through this one, which you can see is the right atrium. We can see the opening of the superior vena cava. This is the opening for the pulmonary trunk over here. Then this is the left ventricle. Now this one is the left ventricle. If we see it carefully, this one is the muscular part of the interventricular septum. This is the muscular part of the interventricular septum. This one is the whole right ventricle. Now if we open up this interventricular septum, this muscular part, and then C, it will open up into the left ventricle. So this will this muscular part of the interventricular septum over here, it acts as a window which will open into this cavity of the left ventricle. Now this hole which we can see, this whole part which we can see is the membranous part of the interventricular septum. So this one is the membranous part of the interventricular septum, and over here we can see the outflowing tract. ये जो दिख रहा है ये सारा का सारा outflowing tract है. Now this one is the right and left bulbar ridges. These are the right and left bulbar ridges. Okay, these right and left bulbar ridges will fuse with each other and they will form the bulbar septum or the spiral septum. Now, this thing which I forgot to mention, this one is the right atrioventricular canal, which is this connecting your right atrium with the right ventricle. This one is the left atrioventricular canal, which is connecting your left atrium with the left ventricle. Okay, now these are the proliferating cells of the right and left bulbar ridges. These cells from the right, left bulbar ridges and your endocardial cushions will all fuse together and they will fill this interventricular septum, which is basically the membranous part of the interventricular septum, and they will form complete this membranous part of the interventricular septum. This one is your aorta. This one is the outflowing tract of the right ventricle. Okay, now as a whole, this was whole the cavity of the ventricle, which showed this outflowing tract, this aorta, the pulmonary trunk, then this superior vena cava. This one is the right atrium, left ventricle. Now this one is the atrioventricular opening, which is joining this right, connecting the right atrium with the right ventricle, ventricular cavity. Then this one is the left atrioventricular opening, which is connecting our left atrium with the cavity of the left ventricle. Now this one whole is the muscular part of the interventricular septum, and this muscular part of the interventricular septum, if we open the window, will open into the cavity of your left ventricle. Again, this one is the outflowing tract of the right ventricle. These are the right and left bulbar ridges. Right, left bulbar ridges along with endocardial cushions, all these three cellular proliferation, they will come and fuse with the, they will form the complete this membranous part of the interventricular septum. So that was all from the models of interatrial and interventricular septum.